Hey guys, in this video I'll share with you why I moved to Miami. I got this question on my Instagram. One entrepreneur has asked me directly, why have you moved to Miami? I mean, you work online, you're not attached to the place, you're not attached to the specific location. Why did you have to move to the United States from Europe? So I'm originally from Ukraine, so why did I have to move? I mean, that just got me, man. I mean, that just got me because I have achieved, and I achieved like very little, compared to like what I know I can do. But building, eight-figure business pretty much, and helping a lot of entrepreneurs succeed at the same time, and all of these things. I mean, those things wouldn't happen if I continued to live in the same environment where I lived. And this is one of the things that entrepreneurs misunderstand, and I think they underinvest in. What I mean by that is, if you continue to live in the same environment where you grew up, for example, you were born like in a small village somewhere, and it's nice life, and you live there, and everyone who surrounds you, everyone, and everyone is good, everyone is a friend. You are not exposed to other people, right? You're not exposed to what is possible. And if you're not exposed, then most likely you won't believe that it is possible, right? So for example, when I was in Ukraine, a lot of my friends, they already have died, from like alcohol poisoning, like drug addiction. And if I would stay in that same environment, it won't be like very funny, that environment was not very productive. What helped me to evolve, and literally like everything that I have now is like built like in 5-6 year period, that whole progress, 100% of it, I dedicate to me moving out of my country, moving out of just disattaching from my friends, just having creating like a different environment, just moving to another environment and just cutting all of the bridges. So what a lot of people are trying to do is they live with their families, and for example, let's say your family member have never grown a business, right? And now you want to start a business, and you tell them, hey, I want to start this like amazing project. Now, if your family is good, they'll probably support you. But if your family is very has very low self-esteem and is not very open-minded, they'll tell you what are you thinking? Why do you need a business? You get a job, right? And this was the advice that I was getting from my parents and family, right? And I love my parents, but some things they're just not very good at, right? And they never grew a successful business, so they couldn't give me that kind of advice. So I had to figure all of that stuff by myself, and with tremendous help from my wife and few other supportive people that I just came to. I just found those people along my way as I was looking for solutions, and mentors and all of these people that I have met along the way, because I was looking for answers. I was looking for another life, right? I was looking for that exposure. Now, if you live in the same environment, if I would live in Ukraine, I 100%, 1000%, there's 1000% guarantee that I won't have what I have now, and I wouldn't be living here. I wouldn't be living in having this lifestyle and stuff, because you simply are not pushed to your limits. Let's say you're making $10,000 per month in Ukraine, right? Which I was making that within my first year. I was making $10,000 per month, just running ads for clients. And if I would compare myself, okay, so I'm making 10,000, this person, the average salary here, I was living in Poland, let's say, and the average salary in Poland is $1,000, and I was making 10. It's wow, I feel myself like a god. Whereas $10,000 is fucking nothing, right? People who make those of you guys who are making good money, you realize that 10 G's a month, it won't even cover the rent. If you want to live in a nice apartment, that will be the rent might be $10,000 per month. So those are the things that people misunderstand, and they don't invest enough into creating a better environment, right? So moving to another country, for example, and having, like, let's say I moved from Ukraine to Poland. Now the cost of living in Poland is more expensive, right? So it doesn't make sense. Why would you move to the country with higher cost of living? Because it makes sense. It makes you grow. It makes you make more money, right? It makes you like evolve. It makes you exposed to other things that make you grow, right? And so those of you guys who are like growth-oriented people, you just gotta expose, just gotta put yourself in the best environment possible, right? Sometimes you can buy it, sometimes you can like pay for the mastermind and be surrounded by people that are like 10x your level. I mean, that investment, like 10, 20, 30, $50,000, this is like negligible and like nothing compared to the kind of like your potential. I think the biggest loss, the biggest loss and liability for every entrepreneur is that they simply don't do everything that they can, right? So for example, if you're drop shipping, your biggest loss is not like spending like $1,000 on like testing the product and not having it work, but your biggest loss is not having the capacity and tenacity to push to, let's say, like 6-7 figures per month, right? Because you can, because it is possible. And if you're just like simply not in the environment where there are these people that are doing these numbers, so you are not exposed to it, so you don't believe in it, you think it's like fairy tale or it is not possible, pretty much you're cutting yourself short. And so the ROI on that, let's say you're making like $1 million, but you think that's it, or you think you made it, or you're not in any masterminds. And for me, like the very easy way to identify, okay, if the person is like growth oriented, like, okay, so what masterminds you're in, how much you're spending on your own like self-development, how much you're spending on the personal trainer. So if you're like 7-figure entrepreneur and you're not investing in yourself, like from the perspective of just like better environment and exposing yourself to a better quality of people that would push your limits and would show you what's possible, that's pretty stupid. That's pretty stupid from the perspective, because now looking back, like I don't have a lot of regrets, but like not being exposed and not investing in like masterminds is one of my that's like one of my biggest, like, I mean, I don't like to call it regrets, but it is what it is. You know, I know that I would have grown faster, I would have grown more if I would have spent like extra like $30,000-$50,000 a year, or like, you know, $100,000 a year on few good masterminds. So I mean, obviously there are good masterminds and there are not as good masterminds, but you probably know like type of people or names of people that would help you to grow to the next level. So if you're not investing like into growing, like, and not getting closer to those people, because okay, so you're here, you want to go to this level, you can figure it out by yourself. It's a matter of time. You probably will figure it out. You'll waste like 3, 5, 10 years of your life trying to figure it out. Or you can get yourself closer to that person and ask them, okay, so how the fuck do you do this? How do you do that? And just getting yourself to that level so much faster. And the same, so that's just one thing, right? And that the same applies to the environment. So if you live in a small village, probably you should like relocate to a better city, like bigger city. Because in bigger cities, let's say you're in like in e-commerce industry, right? You want to be surrounded with best e-commerce entrepreneurs. Best e-commerce entrepreneurs are not typically living like small villages, right? Unless they're like some outliers, but they're living like in big cities or close to big cities, right? And if you want to surround yourself with those people, I had this conversation with Moiz Ali, who was the founder of Native. So basically he grew the company from zero, and he sold it for $100 million cash to Procter & Gamble. You can watch it on my YouTube channel if you just browse through the videos. So he sold for $100 million cash. And so he graduated from Harvard, which is blessing by itself. You know, I think having the opportunity to study in Harvard, being surrounded by some of the smartest people on fucking earth. And not everyone is kind of like has this opportunity. I wish I had, and my kids, that's what I want for my kids. But so he was in Harvard, and then he built his business while living in San Francisco, and I asked him, do you think that had an impact on what you have achieved? The fact that you have lived in San Francisco at that point of time, like building this business from scratch. And he said, yeah, 100%. Like being exposed to the venture capital, being exposed to the startup culture, being exposed to like kind of like high quality of people that you would meet in San Francisco, that highly competitive environment of people. I mean, if you live in some village, you simply don't see that. You might be very happy in a village, but that probably won't push you to your top performance. And obviously, some people are just happy doing like what they're doing. But again, if you're like growth oriented, like entrepreneur that just wants more, gotta relocate, gotta move, gotta surround yourself, gotta invest into having exposure to better quality people. How big an impact it makes, right? So the answer to the person who asked me this question, I just said exactly the same. Like, you can do certain things in certain places. Why would be, let's say Google is an online company, why would Google, and the CEO is from India, his family, CEO of Google, he makes hundreds of millions of dollars, he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And the question is, okay, so if Google is like online company, pretty much it's online, right? Because like everything is technology. Probably he shouldn't have moved from India. He should have like maybe applied for a job from India, or like with his like Indian credentials. But no, his family had to relocate to United States, had to sacrifice everything to get him into like Stanford, whatever, like the educational facilities he went to, get him the highest level of education possible, getting him into the best environment on earth possible for him to just have a chance to succeed, right? And he wouldn't be close to this, right? He wouldn't have a fighting chance if he would be in India, right? Like would they hire like remote CEO from India who doesn't have like education? So when you think about those things, and you kind of like reverse engineer from the end, okay, so let's say I want to be like, I want to build like $1 billion company. Okay, that's awesome. If you're living like in a small city, or like, are there anyone in your village like who's made like $1 billion? No, probably not. Like, do you have exposure to those people? Do you see how they sing, how they behave, where they live, how they live, right? How they build companies? Maybe you gotta relocate, right? Maybe you gotta change your environment, buy the environment, or just relocate. So I mean, those are two easiest ways to do it. This is it, guys. This is my answer to this gentleman. And think how you can evolve, right? Surround yourself, buy access. I mean, buying is simple. I mean, on this stage of my life, I can buy most of the things. This helps a lot, right? Like, for example, people ask me, how do you grow? Like, oh, my personal profile got shut down on Facebook. What do? I just buy them. My BM got shut down. Like, what do? I just buy it. My ad accounts got shut down. I just pay for it. You just buy it. When you're like on the stage, like on some stage, like sometimes you better buy it than just build it from scratch. And so the same principle will apply to when we'll be buying e-commerce brands. Let's say brands that are doing, this revenue, will be taking it to like 8-figure level. Let's say we'll be taking it to 9-figure level, because buying is the best way to build something. You just buy something that's already there, and then you just take it to the next level. But this is another topic, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like this video, subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And let me know what you think in the comments. Very interesting to hear your thoughts on this as well. And see you guys in the next video. If you're looking for help, if you're looking to level up, you're a 6-7 figure level, you want to go to 8-figure level, there should be a link below. Just apply for a free call with my team. We'll see how we can help you out to get there. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.